How can you make and keep friends as an INFJ? Stick around for today's show to find out. First and foremost, don't settle. Make sure that your friends care about and respect the commitments and beliefs that matter to you most, because you're going to need this respect in order to build trust. Second, be realistic. Remember that you're an idealist and don't be particularly choosy. Look for people that are honest and caring, but don't expect them to be perfect because obviously nobody is. Suggestion number 3 is to befriend an introvert. Introverts have deep passions and love to talk at length about things that they care about. So if you find somebody who finds a mutual interest, well, then the relationship will probably be off to a great start and continue to be a good one for a long time. So definitely look for fellow introverts. And they don't have to be fellow INFJs. Really, any introvert is someone that you can connect with and connect with well. Fourth, don't keep it just to introverts. Befriend extroverts too. They'll get you out of the house and get you to try new things, and they'll carry a lot of the conversational weight so that you don't have to be talking all the time. This is a great plus. So you need extroverts in your life too. Tip 5 is to put yourself out there a bit. Be vulnerable because vulnerability begets vulnerability in most cases and really takes the relationship to a deeper level. Now, certainly you'll want to make sure that the person's trustworthy and test the waters a little bit, and you'll want to do this in steps so that you're not too overwhelming. But putting yourself out there and letting the person get to know you, the real you, not just the INFJ chameleon that you might be reflecting so that the other person accepts you, will turn the relationship to a deeper side and help you to get to know the other person well. Tip number 6 is to be a friend. And this may be obvious, but I'll just say it anyway. Go out of your way to befriend people who may not be part of the group yet. One of the best friendships that I've ever had, I made when a guy that was visiting our church wasn't doing anything for lunch, and some of my other friends were heading out. So I invited him to join us, and he hung out, and I ended up getting to know him really well. In fact, we went to Cambodia together. We lived in an apartment before I got married for a little while, and we still keep in touch. He's an awesome guy. You just never know what's going to come of an invitation to connect with someone else, even if you're not feeling like it that day. Now, you certainly know your energy, but just don't ever miss an opportunity to include someone in the group. And you as an INFJ are probably really good at that. 7, consider keeping a calendar. And what I mean by that is setting a recurring event on your calendar or just pinning in every week to contact your friends. It's typical for you and me and other INFJs to just need longer periods of alone time. We go from frequent times of connection and talking with others often to long spells of just needing to be by yourselves. And that can be confusing to other people. So it can be helpful to put a reminder on your calendar, at least just to touch base, send a text message or an email or a short phone call, have a short phone call. Those sorts of things will keep the relationship going, especially when you're not feeling in the mood. Tip number 8 is to break out of the routine every once in a while. If your friend invites you to come out on a Friday night, for instance, when you typically like to stay home, go out. Now, you don't have to do it every Friday night, but connect with that person. It'll do a lot for the relationship. And then when you want to stay home, the person might give you a little bit more grace. But just breaking out of your routine from time to time, and it doesn't just have to be on a Friday night, can do a lot of good for the relationship. Number 9, keep investing in relationships that really matter to you, especially when you don't feel like it. I think we as people all go through phases where we're connecting well with others, and then later on, if the relationship has any longevity, we don't feel like spending time with that other person. But if this person or any friend has meant a lot to you, it's really wise to keep investing in it, especially when you don't feel like it, because chances are good the relationship will come back around again. And I think one of the challenges of being an INFJ is that we are constantly changing as people, and as we evolve, we may not connect with others as well. But again, you never know where that relationship is going to end up in the future, and it may be one of the best decisions you'll ever make to keep investing in it, even when you don't feel like it. 10, look for people who share your interests. One of the best places to connect with other people is through hobby groups. So if you have an interest in developing your writing skills, join a writing group. If you love looking at the stars, like a lot of INFJs do, join an astronomy group. Maybe you're a naturalist and you love hiking, join an outdoors group. Connect with these people wherever the groups meet, and you'll probably make some great friends there because you share a common passion. Tip 11 is to connect with other people online. It could be on a Facebook group, it could be on a blog, it could be on a YouTube channel, wherever you can connect and have conversations with other people. Just don't leave it to this, but it's a good way to get started getting to know other people who share your personality type or your interest. And tip 12, even though I just said it, bears repeating. Make sure you're connecting with people in the real world too. So whether it's at work or church or some sort of neighborhood function, maybe it's at some sort of recreational facility, wherever it is you connect with others, do connect in person because there's just some elements of relationships that you need, and that in-person relationship can deliver that the online one can't. 13, be the biggest giver in every relationship. It's not only a great business strategy, but it's a great friend building strategy. When you start by giving and being generous, that's often a great place to start. Now, of course, you want to avoid people who just take advantage and are only one-sided, but this is a great way to connect with other people. And it's some great advice that I got from my mentor, Jonathan Milligan. Number 14, get out of your house when you don't feel like it. Now, there are exceptions to every rule, and certainly there are times when you and I need our space, but those circumstances in which you find yourself when your mood is really low and you might be discouraged and you really don't feel like going anywhere, those are really important times to push yourself out, especially if others are inviting you to come and join them. Answer that call, say yes, or look for ways that you can connect with others, because getting out is really important to boosting your mood and turning things around so that you don't feel so discouraged anymore. 15, accompany an extrovert. Extroverts typically have wider networks and circles of influence, so they're going to know more people than you probably will. And getting to know an extrovert that you trust and spending time with that person and getting to know his or her friends will introduce you to other people you might not have met or thought about connecting with before. So just spending time with your extrovert as he or she is going about the day and connecting with other friends can be a great way for you to meet and connect with new people as well. 16, ask thoughtful questions. This is something that you probably love to do as an INFJ and are good at. And if you don't have a ton of great questions you can ask, just a simple Google search or a book or two can boost your question know-how quite a bit. And asking good questions leads to great conversations. It's one of the biggest takeaways that I've gotten from executive coach Bob Beal. And if you've never been over to Bob Beal's website, he has a great booklet about asking questions. And one of the pages in that booklet covers some questions that you can ask other people. But bottom line, make sure you're asking great questions because it could make all the difference in getting to know that potential friend or taking the friendship you already have to a deeper level. 17, go easy on yourself. You are particularly attuned to what other people think of you and super aware of thoughts and feelings, even those of others. So don't be too difficult on yourself and don't beat yourself up and worry about how you're coming off to others. I mean, certainly you want to care about the words you use and the impact you have on other people, but just assume that you're going to be a little bit more difficult when you're evaluating yourself and a little harder on yourself and cut yourself a little bit more slack. Tip number 18 is to make new friends before you need them. I read an interesting book on networking called Dig Your Well Before You're Thirsty. And the point the author makes is that it's important to make connections before you need them. The same logic applies to making friends. So while you think you may have enough friends, you never know who's going to move or which relationship isn't going to last. So it's always a good idea to be reaching out and connecting with others because you don't know what the next phase of life holds. Number 19, confront when you don't feel like it. One of the hardest things to do as an INFJ is to confront another person, especially on a matter that really bothers you and you don't agree with. But push yourself to do it anyway, because if the relationship endures and lasts through the discussion, then you'll have a better friend, someone who appreciates you even when he or she disagrees with you, and someone who knows they can trust you to tell him or her what may be off or wrong. And that honestly is what we all need in a friend. Number 20, give it time. In his book, The Like Switch, Dr. Jack Schaefer points out that for any relationship to take hold and go deeper, time is essential. So commit, even when you don't feel like it again, to spending time on a monthly, weekly, or bi-weekly basis with another person. Honestly, the more time you spend with that other person, the better. And especially if it's built into the routine or a natural connection. But time is essential to going deeper with any friend. Finally, number 21, spend time with people that you admire. If there's anyone you look up to, even if you're not friends yet, look for ways that you can be around that person, helping them, answering questions, serving with whatever task that person needs to get done. Because as Jim Rohn has observed, we could become like the people we spend the most time with. So think about the people that you admire and who you want to become like, and then find ways to spend time with those people. You never know how that person becoming a friend might just change your life. Thanks so much for watching this video. I hope that you found it helpful. If you'd like to learn more about your INFJ personality, I'd love to give you a free copy of my book, The INFJ Personality Guide. In it, you'll learn about the mindsets and motivations that cause you to do what you do as an INFJ, as well as some common INFJ challenges and solutions to those challenges. Ultimately, I want you to understand that you're not messed up or broken, but just different, and the world needs the gifts that you have to share. You can get a free copy of the book one of two ways. First, consider texting the letters INFJ to the number 444999. Alternatively, you can visit ispeakpeople.com/INFJ-personality-guide. You can find both the number and that link in the description below this video. Thanks again for watching. If this is your first time viewing one of my videos, I hope that you found it helpful. I'd encourage you to hit that subscribe button. There are new videos coming out on a regular basis that cover all kinds of INFJ topics to help you live a more meaningful, purposeful life and to serve others better. And if you are a returning subscriber, thanks so much for being a part of this community. I'm looking forward to seeing you on the next show.